Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 5, Episode 12. Y'all, this was a jam-packed episode, so let's just jump right on into it. We start off the episode with Wendy, and she's talking to one of her boys. I think she was making them breakfast, but she's just discussing if they remembered when her water broke when she gave birth to their baby sister. And so, they're laughing like, yeah, I remember. And then, we see one of them go upstairs to get the other brother. And then Eddie comes in the kitchen and he's just discussing the sip and see that they're about to throw for their little baby girl. She is such a doll. I think they said her name was Kamryn. An absolute doll baby. Can I tell you guys, at the sip and see, she was the cutest thing in her headdress, and I was like, oh my God, I wish I was there, because that just seemed like such a fun celebration, but we will get into all of that later on in this review. So they end up discussing, has Eddie, reached out to his family about attending the sip and see? So then Wendy goes on in her confessional to talk about the rift between the two families. We already knew that the moms didn't get along, and then we find out that Eddie's siblings chose his mom's side, and so they don't speak to Eddie either. So the kids haven't even met their aunts and uncles. I think he said that only one of the brothers, speaks to him. I know that one of them did wish him a congratulations when the baby was born, the baby girl was born. So that's just sad. That is just really sad. I was really upset to hear that Eddie's siblings took the side of the moms. Wendy and Eddie's kids not know their extended family, but they don't know their cousins. That is just so upsetting to me. I really hope that Eddie's family will see the error of their ways and just stop the foolishness and reach out to Eddie and make things right, because that is just so sad. And you could tell throughout the episode, every time she brought it up, he was getting emotional about it. A complete and utter mess, okay? The next scene is Ashley and Michael, and they are on their way to therapy. We see Ashley and Michael head into the office, and they sit down, and Ashley just lays it all out on the line. She tells Dr. Donna that Michael did have an indiscretion. Then she tells us, the viewers, in her confessional that Michael and the other woman only kissed. They didn't do anything else. Now, Ashley, come here. If you believe that that man only kissed that woman, I have some beachfront property in Idaho to sell you, because you, me, Lottie, Dottie, everybody knows that that is a bold-faced lie. Michael slept with that woman. So let's just stop the charade. Let's stop the games. Let's stop the delusions, okay? So Ashley then discusses how their marriage was never conventional. They always had an agreement that they could have threesomes and group sex, but it always had to be together. They could never go off separately and have little dalliances with other people. They always had to be in the whole situation together. So that's why she's upset, because she feels like the rules and the boundaries have been crossed because Michael went off by himself to have a little something with somebody else without her being there. Again, how you start is how you finish. You can't start off one way and think that the other person's going to get on board and completely change. Michael seemed irritated when she said, but I want this to stop. I don't want there to be any other people in our bedroom. I just want this to stop. That's not how it works, sis. I'm pretty sure that before you got married to Michael, you were probably promising him, Michael, if you marry me, there's going to be a lot more where this came from. You did what you needed to do to secure the bag. And now, since you've secured the ring, you secured the bag, you secured the children, now you want to change up. And that's just not how it goes. Michael expected threesomes, group sex, and whatever else, you know, you guys were doing prior to marriage and during your marriage before the baby. And if you think that you're going to take that away from him, you are sadly mistaken. I definitely think that they're going to be divorced by end of season 6, to be very honest with you guys. That is a marriage made in hell, okay? A mess. Then Michael talks about the reason why he does what he does is due to the fact that his father showed him a lot of love and attention. And I was confused by this part because Michael didn't really make a lot of sense. I was waiting for him to say something else, and I was like, did I hear that right? I was like, is anybody else confused? It was like, wait, what? Then we do see, though, in a later scene that Ashley says that Michael's dad was loving to him, but then he would turn around after drinking and then be really nasty and mean to Michael. So that's why he has issues. But I'm like, how does that affect you cheating on your wife? Like, I don't know. I feel like Michael was kind of grasping at straws because he just is a cheater. Period, point blank. And he's really trying to grasp at straws to justify his issues with monogamy. Just talking about Ashley and Michael really gets on my nerves because I find them both to be very aggravating. Like, I really do. They really just aggravate me to no end. So we see a little scene with Wendy, and she's at home and she's calling up Ashley to invite Ashley to the sip-and-see. We find out that everybody's going to be invited except for Monique, and I understand that because I wouldn't want any nonsense at my sip-and-see either. And then we also find out that Wendy wants all the ladies to dress up in pink because she wants it to be like an introduction into womanhood for her daughter's sip-and-see. The next scene is Karen and Ray. And we see Ray bringing up these like monsters. I don't know what they were, but he's bringing them up, and Karen is like, Ray, can you turn that off? And he's just like, okay. And so you could tell Karen is just a little bit annoyed with him. She's just annoyed because he told her a few weeks ago that he doesn't know if he's in love with her. So you could just tell that their interactions with each other are just very short. So they head on out the house and they are going for their walks, get some exercise, and just talk about a few things. Ray starts it off by asking her how was her homecoming visit to Surrey, Virginia. She's like, it was great. It was really nice to be around family and just get in touch with my roots and just, you know, see how far I've come. He's like, okay. And then Karen asks Ray about their disconnect in their marriage and what can they do to get back on track, because she really wants their marriage to work. So then Karen goes on about how she is not the same woman that Ray married, 20-something years ago, that she's evolving and she is now a public figure and she has found success on her own. And it was really funny to me how when she was talking about her success, how Ray wanted to take credit for it. He was like, that's us. Like, we did that. And it's like, don't take credit for her success. Was Karen able to take credit for your success? When you were a big time, I guess he works in like IT. They said that he was like a CEO of an IT company or something. But it's just so funny how men are. Men like to take credit for your success, but they would be pissed if you were to do the same with them. Then Ray goes into how he feels that Karen has allowed the fame and the fortune to go to her head. And she's like, I don't agree with that. I'm still the same person. Like, I take pride in my success, but it hasn't changed me. Like, I'm not prideful, or her head is not up in the air. She doesn't have a big ego. But yes, she has evolved. And here's my thing with that. Men cannot handle being number two. Men, for the most part, have to be the hero. They have to be the one with the success and the accolades and the power. And I feel like it only works when when the woman is powerful and famous. I feel like it only works when the man has more fame and more prestige and more money. Men do not do well taking the back seat to their woman. They just don't. Like, I don't make the rules. It is what it is. Men have very fragile egos, and that's what we're seeing, like, with Ray and Karen. He does not like being in the back seat. And I feel like he's resentful of her newfound fame. Like, now people are looking at him like that's Karen's husband. When before it was, oh, that's Ray Huger and that's his wife. You know, Karen was known as Ray's wife. And now it's Ray being known as Karen's husband. And he doesn't like that. Ray has just been so distant and just such a little baby, like, this entire season. When he was like, you know, I just wish that you would pay me some more attention. And I think that you need to pay attention to the kids and our household. One, their kids are grown. The son is like 29, 30. And her daughter, Raven, is like 24, 25. Out the house. What are you saying, Ray? Just say that you're a little bit jealous and resentful of her newfound fame and success and you can't handle it. Just admit it. Just admit it, Ray. You'll be okay. I really hope that they can get their marriage on track. I hope that Ray can get it together and just stop the foolishness, because Karen looks really good for her age and Ray is looking real long in the tooth. So he should be very happy to still have a hot wife on his arm instead of all this complaining. He should be honored, but child, you know how men are. Men act so stupid. The next scene is Candiace, and she is in the car on her way to court because we all know that she's about to file the charges against Monique. And while she's in the car, she's on the phone with her mom. And it was really nice to see Dorothy on Candiace's side, because too many times in the past seasons we've seen Dorothy be just so mean and nasty to her daughter. So to see her being like a loving mother and, you know, be in her corner, that was like, okay, that's how it should be. So her mom is just, you know, cheering her on, letting her know that she's on her side. She's standing with her. She's standing with her decision to press the charges. And we see Candiace walking on into the court, child. Candiace did the right thing in my book. I said, that's right, Candiace. You better go on to court and file them charges. I'll be doing the same thing too. The next scene is Robin, and she's with her sons. They're at home. And she's talking about her hat line. And the boys were asking her questions, like, are you making money from it? And she was like, yeah, like I make good money. And then she tells us in the confessional that she's made over $10,000 with her hats. I said, okay. I said, is this the income that you failed to report to the IRS? A mess. But Robin talks about how she, you know, the hat line, and she also flips the houses. I think she also named another business too. I remember last season she said that she was doing like a lip gloss line. Do you guys remember that? Am I tripping? Am I making that up? But I remember that she was doing like some makeup lip gloss line. I don't know if she's still doing it, but yeah, she's making money from her side endeavors besides the show. And so she says that with the whole tax issue, it has put a fire under her butt. So I said, okay, girl. I said, make sure to report all that income to IRS, because Uncle Sam don't play that mess, child. You gonna pay up. The next scene again is Candiace, and she is meeting up with one of her dear friends from Howard. His name is Clifton, and so she said that's one of her dearest friends. They always have a good key about stuff, and she just loves him dearly. So they sit down, child, and Clifton is like, how are you since the whole mess happened? You know, how have you been doing? How's everything been? And Candiace just pretty much says that she wakes up every day in a panic, And she has like post-it notes all around her house just reminding her that she's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. And then she gets choked up because she's just saying like, I didn't deserve what happened to me. And again, she did not deserve what happened to her. That was a really evil thing that Monique did to her. That was just really just awful. Then her friend asks her if all the girls have been supportive. And she was saying that, you know, for the most part, everybody's been supportive. Wendy, Giselle, and Robin have been supportive. But Karen has not. And she's getting annoyed by Karen playing both sides. And she just feels that Karen has not just outwardly said Monique is wrong. And she just wants to hear that. And I completely understand that, because if somebody went upside my head, I would be insulted to find out that my friend is still friends with that person who assaulted me. But the fact that they're trying to play both sides and not just owning up and saying that this person is dead wrong, I would definitely feel some sort of way about that. So I definitely understood Candiace's frustration, because I would be upset about that. You guys know how I feel about, you know, people playing both sides of the fence and trying to be neutral. I mean, a lot of you guys have made wonderful points about that, but for me and my house, no, baby, I can't do it. I'm going to need some full-blown loyalty. But again, that's just me, guys. That is just me. The next scene is Wendy and Eddie, and they are driving up a few days before the sip and see to just check out the venue. And while they're checking it out, Wendy asks again if Eddie has reached out to anybody on his side of the family if they're going to come. So we see Eddie. He sends out the invitation. I think it was to his father about coming. And then Eddie kind of gets teary-eyed because he's discussing how the sons were asking him the other day about his father, and then they asked how come they never met their grandfather, and he was getting choked up. Y'all, I don't know how much more I can say. That whole situation is just so sad. I hope that Eddie's family will get it together and do right by Eddie and the kids, because that is just such a messed up predicament, and I don't know how he's dealing with that. Honestly, Eddie, I kind of just feel like he should have stopped reaching out to them and just be like, it is what it is. If you guys don't want to see me or support me or be a family, then it is what it is, because I'm not going to sit up here and grovel and beg my own parents and siblings to love me and do right by me. You know, at some point, you need to put your foot down with people and let them know, whatever, I'm not going to sit up here and deal with the nonsense, you know, I'm gonna love you from a distance, be blessed, bye. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so sad that he has to deal with this crap. It really is. So we see Ashley and Dean in the next scene, and they are at Uncle Lump's house. And we all remember Uncle Lump. They had that big party for him. And we know that he has been a father figure to Ashley, because, you know, Ashley's father has been non-existent. He wants nothing to do with Ashley. Uncle Lump is my type of guy. He is pissed about the whole situation with Michael cheating. And he is pretty much like, Michael needs to get himself together. He needs to stop putting his penis before his family. And Ashley's just shaking her head in agreement, and she just agrees. You know, it's ridiculous. Uncle Lump says that he needs to find some willpower. He needs to realize that it's not about him. It's about the baby. And while he's talking, Ashley's mom comes in. And I was like worried when the mom came in, because she came in with that eye patch. I was like, oh my gosh, is she okay? And then when Ashley was asking like what happened to her eye, and she said something about like something oozing, I was like, does she have a pimple in her eye? I couldn't make heads or tails of what was happening with the mom's eye, but I just hope that she's okay. I hope that that's nothing serious or anything, because I was concerned. I was like, oh my God, I hope that it's nothing serious, but she seemed to be in good spirits. The mom gets there and she's, you know, talking about Michael needs to get it together. So Uncle Lump is like, I want to see Michael face to face. Like, I want to have a chat with him man to man, because I feel like he's been avoiding me and everybody else in the family because he doesn't want to own up to his indiscretions, all his nonsense. And the mom is like, yeah, like I want to talk to him too. So Ashley's like, like if this happens again, I will divorce him. Ashley, of course you're going to divorce him. You got him to agree to sign to that post-nup. Of course we know you're going to leave him. So it is the night of the big sip and see for baby Kamryn. And they're all getting ready. While Wendy and Eddie are getting ready, Wendy asks Eddie if she heard back from any of his family. And he's like, nope, no response. So they're like, wow. I was like, that's a damn shame. They get in the car, and while they're on their way there, Wendy gets all these alerts on her phone, and she sees that Candiace has filed assault charges against Monique. I think it was second-degree assault. So she's like, oh my gosh. She's talking to her husband. She's like, oh my gosh, like, this is crazy. And he's like, wow, like, he was just stunned himself. So then we flash on over to Robin, and we see that Robin is the first one at the party, and like nobody's there. So Robin's like, now I'm late to every other event. The first time I'm on time, this is some BS that I'm the first person here. I was cracking up because I'm like, Robin has very poor time management. So I thought it was very funny that the one time she's on time for something, she's the first one there. So Robin is waiting, and she calls up Giselle like, Giselle, are you close? Because I'm the only person here. It's like me and two other people. Eventually, Kamryn and Giselle show up, and they're just talking at the table. And Giselle, because Giselle cannot help herself, Giselle's like, did you guys see the alerts? Candiace filed charges against Monique, and there's second-degree assault charges. I mean, I don't want the girl to go to jail. And it's like, okay, Giselle. All right. I mean, as much venom and hate that Giselle has had towards Monique, I was kind of shocked to hear her say that. I said, okay, girl. But Giselle loves to be messy and do what she do, child. Finally, Wendy and Eddie get there. And Robin was like, I mean, Wendy, like, I was the first person here, girl. Like, it's about time you got here. And Wendy's like, now, girl, you know good and well you're not supposed to be on time. Like, I was going to be late. I said, y'all better stop with all this lateness, child, because I cannot stand a late person. I think it's so rude. But I digress. We're not here to talk about me, child. So Wendy and Eddie come out with baby Kamryn, and she is such a doll, like the cutest thing. Her outfit was so cute, and she had her headdress on, just adorable. Wendy gives a really heartfelt speech, and then she brings up her mom and her sister Ivy, because she wanted to say that, they're inspirations to her and she loves them, and they're just great role models for her daughter. So then they bring the baby out to the dance floor, and the music starts going, everybody starts dancing, and then this is my favorite part. When everybody started making it rain, and I forgot what Wendy called it, but it's tradition where they start pouring money on everybody, and that is just so cool. It's such a celebration, like they come to celebrate you. And it was just so beautiful. I said, I want to be Nigerian too. Like, also, side note, because I know I have a lot of Nigerian subscribers. Come here. If you guys ever have a party, okay, or a wedding, whatever you guys have, can you invite me? Like, call me, okay? You can DM me, hit me on whatever platform, and I will come. I want to be there. I want to make it rain. Like, I love it. I said, oh my gosh. I said, if I should get married to a Nigerian man, that would be cool. Everybody making it rain on us. Like, okay, like, I can dig that. Like, I love it. I love it. I'm West Indian, but we don't do that. Like, I wish we did that. Like, we're fun and stuff, but, Trinidadian and Antiguan, but we don't do that. I want to do that. That is fun. Okay, I digress again, y'all. I'm getting sidetracked. So they all sit down to eat at the table, and of course Giselle can never just leave well enough alone. She has to address the elephant in the room, child, and she's like, Candiace, I see that you pressed charges you want that girl to go to jail. And Candiace is kind of like, I did what I had to do because I was unfairly assaulted. And it gets a little bit tense. Karen is getting more and more uncomfortable. Then Ashley jumps in. And Ashley's like, well, you know, you were getting in her face. And Candiace was like, girl, if you don't shut up, I did no such thing. Like, you weren't even there. You went to the bathroom and missed the whole thing. Ashley, I have never liked Ashley. Just a full disclaimer. I think that Ashley is the most vile person on that cast. I think that she is very evil. Since season 1, she has been a very destructive person, just so nasty. And I think that it's really weird how Ashley has been able to skate through and nobody has called her out on her nonsense. It's just very aggravating that Ashley seems to skate above the mess. She is like the biggest instigator. She has the most reckless mouth on that cast. And nobody says anything about it. It's bizarre. It was like, Ashley, shut up. But Candiace got her together good. I love when Candiace said, that marriage is not going to last soon between you and Michael. And then, you know, Chris was like, Candiace, just shut up, please. Like, don't make this worse. Then Candiace ends up turning her attention to Karen. And she's like, you know, Karen, I'm kind of pretty much annoyed that you haven't just outright said that Monique is wrong. And you said that you would talk to Monique. So Karen is stammering and stuttering and like, no, I have talked to her. I've tried to tell Monique, you know, she's wrong. And then Candiace is getting more annoyed, like, Karen, you shouldn't have to coax a grown woman. And, you know, that's true because Monique should see the error of her ways without somebody trying to force her to see it. I got Candiace's irritation and frustration at that table because you have people coming at you from every which way. Now you have a good friend that you know, just adore and look up to as like a second mother figure in Karen. And now she's playing both sides of the fence. So I definitely understood Karen's annoyance by that whole thing at the table. We end the episode with Wendy and Eddie, and Wendy is asking Eddie how he feels since his family didn't show up. And he's just trying to be optimistic about the whole thing. It's sad. Like, what more is there to say, you know? Like, it's just a sad situation that I really hope gets fixed because those kids deserve to meet their extended family on his side. I really hope that they can work that out. Y'all, this was a very jam-packed episode, like I said before. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. You know what to do. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Alrighty, guys. Bye.